what the fuck? We all meet up in Detroit, have a great time, we think, and then everybody bails on the podcast all of a sudden.
Like, what happened?
What the fuck? It's just us and Josh again.
Little odd.
Little bit odd. What's
odd.
going on?
Little odd, if you ask me.
Also, there might be some references that, just to give you the heads up, shirt cocking it might come up once or twice. Layola tea.
Fuck you, you're an asshole.
And I live here now.
Okay.
Detroit, though, was really good. We had a good time. Went to Ann Arbor, saw the big house.
I saw that. I was just like, man, my heart, like, I felt it for Corrina. I was just like,
bro, it was so much to even process too, though, because there was like a bajillion people there.
Yeah.
And they were just everywhere and drunk. Like we saw this girl just straight face plant walking in the street. You know what I mean?
Fucking
like,
rad, bro.
Just up and then she was down. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. But so like I'm really glad we didn't actually go into the game because I think it would have just been too much for me. But
what a hell of a game though, dude. Michigan came back in the last minute to win.
I know. I literally got the news as I was like getting my tattoo like finished up, and freaking like Rick and Sam came into the shop and they were like, "Hey, Michigan won." I was like, "What?" Like, that's nuts. I was like, I should have got a big block M while I was here.
Right.
It was humid and I'm not used to humidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Midwest, man. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, I've never been to the Midwest. That's like the one part of the country I've never been to. Like I've basically take a map and everything on the south part of the United States I've hit. Anything northwest of Colorado.
Yeah.
Until you get to New York, I thought it was, just flatlands everywhere. You know what I mean? Just, which it is. Don't get me wrong. Like the tallest thing I saw was like a 300-foot hill, and where was that?
It was weird.
Auburn Hills.
It's so weird to go from somewhere where there's literally like you can't look in any direction and not just see like massive mountains.
You know what I mean?
To a place where it's like, is that like, okay,
you get 4 stories like above the, so you're above the tree line and you can just see
straight
everything.
Out. I'm like, oh my God.
But it was fun. Cool hotel. Shout out to the Staybridge Suites.
Hotel was great.
I don't know if they listen, but if they do, shout out to them. Big shout out to Pierre and GOHT Media. It was good times. It was really good
cool.
times.
Love seeing all the videos, pictures. Love seeing you guys at GOHT Studios.
Dude, it was fun. I mean, a lot of what you didn't see was, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. Oh my God.
Dude,
my God. Yeah. But it was cool. It was cool.
What was I going to say? But the flight home, that was fun. You know what I mean? Detroit to Salt Lake and then a 3.5 hour layover in Salt Lake City.
Yep. And then an hour, 20 minutes to Reno. And then in Reno, we got the pleasure of waiting for an hour and like 10 minutes for our bags to come out.
Yeah.
So that was just...
We didn't even get home till like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it was insane.
Like you're almost home and you got to wait another hour and a half.
Well, dude, the wild part was I realized like, I woke up at 7 o'clock Eastern, which is 4 a.m. Pacific, and I'm going to bed at 3 o'clock or 3 o'clock a.m. Pacific. So I've been up for 23 hours.
Yeah.
And like 12 of those were flying.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It was a long fucking day.
And I instantly looked at Corrina and I'm like, we are never going to Disney World ever. Not even if there's a fire.
Not even if there's a fire.
We're not going. Fuck that flight. We'll drive the 5 days.
It's almost better. Jeez.
Disneyland and Legoland. That's it. That's all you need. That's a 4-hour drive right there.
West. That's what we got out here.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just turned into like fucking Tupac out here. What the fuck? Anyways.
Who the fuck are you?
All right, should we dive into this?
Let's do this. We're back home.
And we're done. No.
Yeah.
We're back home. We're back in our comfy little studio.
I know.
And,
I got my son's Mickey Mouse table right next to me as my cup holder. fucking
I'm
phenomenal.
ready. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about spilling my drink on other people's shit.
That was my biggest thing is like I felt like I couldn't have anything to drink sitting there because like you're by the way, I mean like in the GOHT Media studios,
way
which is
more professional than us.
Yeah, which is where like, you know, the Zach Nichols podcast is filmed and all of that. And so they have that big blue couch. And so it's like you can't have something to drink, right? And it's literally like there's cameras everywhere and lights and stuff. And so you're like, you can't have something to drink right there. And so the whole time I didn't know what to do with my hands. Like I didn't have anything, you know, usually I've got something to, I didn't know. Dude, what do I do with my hands? I don't know where to put them.
I was so blazed because we were just sitting in the parking lot, like waiting for Alexis to show up. And I just kept hitting the pen over and over because I was nervous. And then we got up there and then I got really nervous and paranoid because I was so stoned.
And you're like,
dude, I was wearing sandals and my fucking feet were sweating. I was so nervous.
It was cool. So yeah, anyway, I'm glad to be back in my little comfy chair.
Yes. And no, so I was really stoned and we couldn't have a drink. So by the end of the fucking episode, I felt like Ace Ventura. I was like, welcome to the talent fandom.
Oh my God.
Dude. Don't smoke weed and do a podcast if you can't have something to drink. I'm just gonna.
It was bad.
That was a lesson learned by me right there.
Facts.
No intro this week.
See, this is what happens when it's just the three of us. When it's just the three of us.
Oh, dude, it's just shit talking, and that's really what it's gonna be tonight. Because when I say I was nervous, just real quick, I think Corrina felt the same way. It wasn't about the cameras and the different setup as far as being on the couch. It was having other people that are in the room watching you or listening to you, but not on the podcast talking with you. Yeah. So
they're just like behind the cameras, like just watching you, and you're just like.
And it took me a while, and then I saw like Sam, Alexis's husband. Like I said something and I saw him kind of like smirk and like nod his head. I was like, okay, we're live. Let's go.
I'm on.
And then I said something and their producer, it's Mike.
Mike. Yes.
Yeah, Mike.
Shout out to Mike, dude.
Yeah.
Thank
Shout
you
out
so
to
much.
Mike. Yeah. He laughed and I was like, okay, I still got it. We can do this.
Right.
Yes.
No, it was really cool. It was a whole different experience, but
I enjoyed it though.
But it was cool. It was just like way different. And there's always that thing of like, you see all the equipment. Like that was the big thing for me is I was like, there's so much money of equipment here. Like if I trip and fall or like anything, like it was very much like, just be very careful.
I was nervous. I was going to have butterfingers and like Corrina talks with her hands.
Yes. That's what I was like. I was like, I don't know what to do with my hands. No, it was cool though.
But, and then what else did we do? Fuck, dude, we spent a lot of time just chilling and bullshitting. And
dude, what was it like riding that bike?
Oh, the pedi-bike?
Yeah. I mean, I saw that and I was just like, really? At our age?
It was nuts. But it was better than walking because it was pretty far.
Fair enough.
Okay, first of all, I said no because I was like, dude, I'm not putting my big ass on one of those guys' pedi-bikes and making him ride me uphill. Like, this is the 18th century. Like, faster, peasant. You know what I mean? And then Sam's like, one of them went by and Sam's like, oh, dude, listen, they're motorized. And you heard the like whining of the motor. And I was like, well, if they're motorized, I don't feel too bad then. And then we get on the motherfucker, and the only spot for me and Sam is in the very back.
That's all right.
And there's one
facing the back too.
Facing the back. There's one little setup of metal, and when I say the metal, it's probably like not even 7/8. It's thin metal.
Yeah.
And it just curls up, comes around, comes down in the back. And so I've got one foot on one side, Sam's got one foot, and we're both holding on like this. And this dude's booking it like 30 miles an hour down the fucking road.
Just going.
We're hitting fucking potholes and shit. Like my foot's slipping off, my life flashed before my eyes. there's this lady behind us in a fucking Ford Escape just barreling down on us. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to bail, bro. I'm just going to have to bail and hope Corrina, because she's all the way in the front, can handle her own. I'm going to have to tuck and roll out of this. It's the only option. And then all of a sudden, as I'm like playing this scenario out in my head, we just get launched backwards because dude comes to a light and a bus was in front of us and he decided he was going to brake hard and then go around it. Corrina reaches out and touches the bus. I'm hanging on for my dear life.
I gave the bus a little tap as we went by. I was like,
it was the most intense roller coaster I've been on in at least 10 years.
I'm so glad I asked.
Fun.
And it cost us like $85.
Oh shit! And you almost died for $85. Nice.
It was like
bro made bank off almost murdering us all. Like
it was.
bank.
It was like the challenge. Like I felt like I was in a final.
It took him like 5 minutes to get us up that hill, and it was $15 a person. Like, bro made bank.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, we got.
I don't know if my life insurance would cover that if I died doing that.
I don't know. But man, it was an experience. I've never done nothing like that before. Like I've been in some crazy Uber driver rides.
He pulled up. He drove by and Alexa shouted out, "New boo goofing over here."
Nice.
Dude, Alexis is so fucking cool. I love her.
And then dude was dressed like Officer Dangle and was popping that ass for Corrina and Katie. He was popping that ass.
He was going with it. I was like, dang.
I don't even remember the song that was playing, but it was like Billy Joel or some shit.
We were singing it too. Katie and I were just belting it to the people on the streets. Like
the wild thing is not one person had a drink, dude. We were all sober.
We were completely sober. Yeah.
I love it.
It was so much fun. Oh my gosh.
And then we got done and went and got a club sandwich. So there you go.
Yep.
Nice.
Adult time.
Yeah. It was great. But yeah, so the pedi-bike was interesting.
Goddamn pedi. I'm never getting on one of those fuckers again.
No way, man. No way. I will walk next time.
Unless it's pulled by a horse. And it's the only way I'm doing it. And it's got seatbelts.
Yeah.
Pulled by a horse and has seatbelts. All right.
Yeah. It's got to go under fucking 10 miles an hour, bro. That's just, I'm not used to this newfangled technology where you're just going so fast. Could you imagine that? Like the first people that like figured out how to domesticate a horse and ride it, and they went from the fastest they could go was running to a horse's like full out. They were like, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
You want to race, bro? This fucker right here's got 1 horsepower.
Oh my god.
Oh, I missed you guys.
I missed you too, buddy.
You too, man.
OG episode where we don't talk about any of the challenge. We just talk shit.
I know.
Welcome back.
We haven't yet. We haven't mentioned one thing about it.
I'm not going to either the whole episode.
All right.
I live here now.
I live here now.
Well, I almost died today.
How'd you almost?
Whoa.
Were you on a pedi-bike?
I was on my scooter.
Same thing.
Same difference.
All right.
Okay.
There's lane splitting. It's allowed. You know?
No.
So I came up and I was just like, all right, so I get all the way over. And then I'm on the far right lane up against the guardrail where I'm allowed to be. And I got cars coming over to the far right just to block me from not being able to pass them. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I got in front of a vehicle. And then the guy come up past me and flipped me off. I'm like, dude, read a book. It's allowed. I'm like, whatever, dude.
You know what my favorite one is when someone does something stupid. I'm like, where'd you fucking learn to drive? Disneyland? Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
You get a Mickey Mouse fucking driver's license? I don't have good insults. My favorite one is I just look at people and I'm just like, thumbs down. Disappointed. Your father's disappointed in the way you drive.
It should be.
So yeah, that was fun.
Well, first of all, it's when you said scooter, the first thing I imagined was like a razor.
Have I not sent you a picture of it?
You have like a Vespa, bro?
Hold on.
Do you have a Vespa?
That's
Corrina has watched way too much Luca.
I love that movie, by the way, guys. If you have not seen Luca, it's such a good one.
I like it. I'll probably end up watching it tomorrow because Harper will be here. But I just watched Onward again.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I haven't watched that one.
Don't.
I'm going to.
You're
I'm on
gonna cry,
a Pixar kick.
and I'm okay with that.
I watched Inside Out too, and I almost cried.
I'm watching that tomorrow with Harper.
That's a good one.
It's really good.
Yeah, we took Luke to see it in the theater, and
I sent it in chat.
I watched Forrest Gump the other day and cried.
Oh,
It happens, dude. Sometimes.
oh, dude, that's pretty cool.
Let me see.
it's a 250.
Oh, that's dope.
It has a remote start and stereo that hooks up to my phone.
Oh shit.
Nice.
No, it's dangerous because I'll be going down the road and just jamming.
Gotta be careful, man.
Does it have a heater?
I know. I noticed myself. I'm like, I gotta stop. At least it's like on a 25 mile an hour. I won't do that shit on the highway, but I'm like just scooting. The good song comes on. I'm like, oh shit, stop.
Just FYI, because I've been on scooters in the winter. Invest in hand warmers. Not when it's like icy out, but like when it's just cold.
I'm getting my CX-9 back this weekend, so we good.
Oh shit! You taking that fucker out on a quarter mile?
My CX-9?
I don't know. I'm just talking shit.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like a badass race car though. CX-9.
It's an SUV.
Fuck. Have you seen Lamborghini makes SUVs?
Yeah.
It's not a CX-9 though.
No, it's not. But I can get to your house in the winter just fine.
You're welcome to. I don't know where we've got room.
I'll find a hotel next time I come out.
Well, that or an Airbnb, and I will direct you into a good neighborhood. Speaking of Airbnb, we will give them a glowing review next week. If you couldn't tell about the tone in my voice. Well, and by we, I meant Alexis.
Oh, I was like, what are we doing next week?
When they're on.
Yes.
If they come back. I don't know if they love us anymore, apparently.
Yeah, we'll see if they ever come back.
Oh, that's true. They fucking hate us. We probably shouldn't have met in person.
Like these fucking crazy assholes. Fuck these guys.
That was the remix.
Yep.
Era.
You did it. Did a good job.
My real friends, era.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Detroit. Hey everyone, welcome to the Challenge Fandom Podcast. Got Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife Corrina Hayes, and Josh motherfucking Chambers.
What?
Look, we're gonna go real old school on this episode. It's the original 3 founding members.
Oh geez.
It hasn't been this one in a minute, and
No.
I'm stoked because artwork is gonna take me 30 seconds.
Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy. Wait, what? Huh?
I don't know.
Anyways, we're here to break down season 40, episode 6 of the challenge. My real friends era. I don't know. I felt like it had to be dramatic, like they were trying to sell something.
I don't
in
know.
Here.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. My real
So-
friends era. I don't know. I just don't like the naming scheme that they're going
Right,
with.
and especially with what happened to the friends that could have been. I'm like, nah, come on. What terrible title.
Look, just because you have the word era
Yeah.
or eras in the title of the show, doesn't mean you have to actually name every episode with that.
Yeah.
We can, you can have just an off the wall name, and that's completely cool too.
Yeah, and
That's fine.
not have the word era in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be okay to do that.
Are they secretly sponsored by Taylor Swift and have to put it in there?
I'm just saying
I mean,
that.
there's a rumor.
Well, no, I don't. No. But I'm just saying, in my opinion.
Are we clowning?
No, we're not. We're not clowning.
Okay.
Yes, Soka. Hi, pretty girl. In my opinion, I don't think that it's. I don't think that it's ironic that, you know, the eras thing is like so trending right now, and they decide to incorporate that at this time, releasing the, you know what I mean? I don't think it's coincidence. But, you know, that's just marketing.
I just wanted to be the one to mention Taylor Swift since the girls aren't here. And I want to bring it up as many times as I possibly can tonight.
Yeah, it's weird. Corrina. It's weird because we meet them in Detroit, and then all of a sudden, conveniently, they can't make this week's episode. And it's like, what's really going on, girls?
Right?
What's really going on?
What happened? My heart.
Disappointed. I'm not even upset. I'm disappointed.
Oh, ooh, that hurts worse.
Dang.
With that being said, Alexis had a totally fair excuse. She has a lot of work to get done because she took a weekend off to come to Detroit with us.
Katie has a good excuse too.
I'm calling bullshit. Like, I've heard that excuse a lot. I have a headache.
Oh my gosh, no.
I'm joking. So I am. I got to give her shit for not showing up the first week after we all meet up. You're leaving us out here on an island trying to explain Detroit by ourselves, and it doesn't sound as good without other people backing us up on this.
Yeah, I don't think it sounded fun at all.
It didn't.
Your explanation, just like, nah.
We stayed at a hotel the whole time.
We stayed at the hotel.
We'd even sit in our room. We sat outside. Right.
God, we're losers. Okay, no wonder they didn't come back on the show.
I'm hurt, but I understand.
Okay, anyway.
I'm going to let Corrina catch herself.
I'm just kidding. I love you, girls.
She's over here shirt cocking.
I loved how this episode started.
Anyways, I promise you we will get into the challenge.
Sometime.
At some point. But that point's not right now because you didn't even acknowledge the fact that I said shirt cocking it. If you don't know what that means, go watch Deadpool 2. You'll get it.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I want to say something because I mentioned it last week in the episode that we did in Detroit at GOHT Media Studios. That I like the foreshadowing that they're doing with the pictures on the wall and replaying that old moment and how it kind of translates. And then I watched this one and I was like, okay. And then I rewatched it again on the, when we did the rewatch to take notes, and I'm watching, I'm like, this one isn't foreshadowing unless they're talking about Derrick getting injured. But even if you're talking about Derrick getting injured, you gave us no like closure on that. Like, did he break his leg? Is he on crutches? Is he walking this motherfucker? What's going on?
Well, somebody pointed it out to me, and I did notice it on our rewatch that he is wearing like a little knee brace when they go to the elimination. So he's got like a little knee brace thing on. So clearly something is up with his knee, which is really sad because knee injuries can, be pretty tricky. So
with that being said, we do live in a beautiful time where, 25 years ago, if you tore your ACL, you were done for.
Yeah.
Like it was bad news bears. Where now, like, people have pretty bad knee injuries all the time and they come back and play professional sports.
Right.
The surgeries are so good. And look, we saw Nisa back this season.
Yeah.
And it just happened to her on Ride or Die. So.
I mean, Casey's had knee surgery.
Yeah.
After, what was that? Double Agents.
Yep.
So there's been a few other people too. That was all I could think of in the moment though. So anyway, moving on. But yeah, no, I didn't understand what this clip had to do with anything that happened in the show. I didn't really understand that. Were they trying to like trick us into thinking maybe Bananas was going to be going in? Like maybe, you know what I mean? Because they showed like the clip of, like Bananas and I don't get it.
I think it had more to do with what Evelyn had to say, but I can't remember what she said right offhand in that clip.
my thing is, what if there's no rhyme or reason and they're just taking random edits from these pictures and it has nothing
and now they're going to laugh at us when they listen to this and be like, got him!
They're like, nah.
Gotcha, bitch.
Or what's that? Ha ha. Or whatever from The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm jealous. Anyways, speaking of...
Speaking of jealous, is that what you were going to say?
I was going to, but then I saw what we're talking about next, and I was like, oh, that
was interesting.
Anyways, what did you think? I mean, look, we didn't really get into it that deep last week, but what did you think about the conversation that Laurel has with Bananas as far as her explanation on what happened with Cara?
Dude, she's describing herself and saying it was Cara. Because from a lot of the stuff that I've seen, Laurel's the one that's keeping this going.
I think, yes, I think this was going to be a big issue regardless, just because of, one, the two people it involved.
Yeah.
How it's a polite way to say this, how fanatical Cara fans can be. You know what I mean? And not to say other people don't have their fans like that too, like CT and, and everybody, Jordan, Tori, all of them have their really big fans. But the fact that it's such an old storyline that keeps getting brought up, it was always going to be talked about a lot. I get where she's coming from, but it still doesn't get rid of the fact that you fucking scorched the earth with what you did. Like, you did the worst thing that you probably could have done in this situation.
Yeah. And that's my thing is, like, I don't blame Laurel for reacting. I see, the points where Cara was poking at Laurel. I see the points where Laurel was poking back at Cara. You know what I mean? They were both, at fault for kind of igniting the fire there. But then she just burnt the whole fucking house to the ground. You know what I mean? Like, she takes it too far. And this time it was so far that it's like, dude, like, what the fuck? So that's the thing is, I get what she's trying to say to Bananas, about little sister poking the big sister, and then the big sister reacts and smacks her, and then she cries to mom, and the big sister gets in trouble. I get what she's trying to say, but it's like, you didn't just, push your little sister or whatever. You literally beat the shit out of her. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, she was poking you, but you fucking cut her finger off. Like, you take it to such an extreme that it makes it not okay. It makes it not a big sister, little sister thing. It makes it just like, I don't know. I don't even have the right words to say, but it's just, it makes it just too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have a whole idea on this, but it's not my job to analyze these people for what I think they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to catch hate because I've never talked to any of these people one-on-one, so I don't really have a good read on them.
Right.
I just see what's in the edit. But I think that it's a learned behavior to go scorched earth, and it's usually a defense mechanism caused by trauma. So, with that being said, let's move on to something else that was surprising, which was, dude, we got a scene where Jenny was pissed off and like was calling out the whole fucking team. And look, I'm going to be honest, not on my bingo card.
Yeah, not on my bingo card, but I do I always find it funny when people do this. It kind of reminds me of the making vague posts on Facebook and hoping the person you're talking about sees it. You know what I mean? Like, she could have just said, Michele, what the fuck? Why didn't you, but she presented it as an open thing to the whole team. Like, the people who haven't volunteered, who haven't been targeted, didn't nominate themselves, but there's only one. Yeah. So you know what I mean? It was just it was kind of funny to me the way she went about it. It was I can tell that Jenny just isn't one of those confrontational type people, but she was just so upset in this moment that she couldn't let it go. And I can't blame her. I mean, I get where her frustration comes from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't blame Michele. I don't know what was said. If Michele had said she would volunteer last week, I don't know. But what I do know is that, Michele plays a very good social game, and she has a lot of friends. And, if she has herself set up to where she isn't going to get targeted by people in the other eras or whatever, then, more power to her. I don't know. I can't be mad at her for it.
Yeah. I use the same situation of Josh. Like, it was supposed to be Josh's week to nominate himself, and he didn't. And then Kylie ended up going in. She was supposed to, didn't. Jenny ended up going in.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like, rule number 1, never nominate yourself. Yeah, never volunteer yourself. Like, no, fuck you. Make a choice. I'm not volunteering myself. You can pick me, but I'm not volunteering.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, and I've got like these challenge rules that I have like made up in my head that you don't do certain things. And I'm going to get into some of those other ones later.
I like it.
But just as surprising was Casey not on my bingo card of her talking shit about Jenny and how uninteresting she is.
I don't think she was trying to talk shit.
No, she kind of was, bro. She's like, all she talks about is her snacks and her gerbils.
Her guinea pigs.
Whatever, the rodents.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't want to go back to that nickname that people were calling Casey her first season.
Her first season.
First
they still call
couple
it.
seasons? Okay.
First 5.
I haven't seen it in a while, so that's why I'm saying that. Trying to be nice. But I'm like, come on. If it's anybody else, all right, go ahead. But you got Casey, which makes it so much funnier.
Yeah, it's... Last week, I gave Olivia some shit about calling Josh out for being untrustworthy. Just like I'm going to call Casey out for talking shit on Jenny about being boring when...
I mean, I don't know, because that's the thing, though, is that Casey has friends. So we don't see it. Doesn't mean that she's not having that social game, those conversations that matter, those relationships that matter.
Jenny got taken out after Casey's first season.
I know.
And hasn't been on any season since. And that's not her fault.
No,
that's
it's
production's fault. So of course she's not going to have those relationships.
I mean, yeah. All right.
I mean, so she never played with fucking, like half the people that are on here. Where Casey's been on with Darrell, been on with CT, been on multiple seasons with Bananas, all of that, where like Kyle's gone. Melissa's not there. Like all these people she knew from Total Madness aren't on the show.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I just want to be the devil's advocate.
All she's got is Bananas.
That's not saying a lot.
I'm just saying, though, like...
You better hope it's not a single winner season, Jenny.
I'm just saying, though, like, you have to be able to adapt in these social situations. You know what I mean? And... if whatever the topics are, it doesn't really fucking matter what they are. But, if you can't adjust to, other people around you, then I don't know, especially when they're already clicked up, like then you don't really have a choice. Like, I don't know.
You know what it feels like?
I see both sides of it. So it's one of those things where it's like, I can't really pick a side, but I thought it was a funny confessional, and then like, as it flipped from like Casey, like all she talks about is snacks. And then it flips to her and then she's like, her guinea pigs. Everyone knows my guinea pigs' names now. And like, I do like Jenny a lot, though. She's really cute.
Jenny's a sweetheart.
I remember when we interviewed her, and as soon as we brought up those guinea pigs, she lit the fuck up. Like she got so excited to talk about her guinea pigs. So
look, I talk about my kids the same way.
Yeah,
I get it.
I can't blame her.
You know what it feels like? It feels like time for a handshake.
Oh my gosh. We're in the Vacation Alliance now.
We practice that a lot. We're nerds.
We live here now.
Yeah, we live
Cory,
here now.
Devin, Josh.
Yeah, it was a little bit slow.
We live here now.
And you still went a little slow.
We'll practice it.
It's this part, because who's going horizontal? Who's going vertical?
You're like,
what do we do?
The first time I fucked it up, I was like this.
Wait, I'm like this.
I was like, oh, wait, wrong game.
Oh my God, you're a fool.
I know. Anyways, I just like how last week Vacation Alliance isn't a thing. It isn't a thing. Tori, it's totally a thing. This week handshakes. Like, what the fuck, bro?
They even got like little initials for it and everything. Like, well, and I give it to Tori because she was like, yes, the Vacation Alliance is a thing. But like even Josh was in his confessionals, like trying to be like, no, the Vacation Alliance isn't a thing. Like just because we're friends and we hang out and we play all the time, like trying to totally tone it down, or like, what's
play it
yeah,
off.
like play it off, and then this week there he is doing the handshake, calling it the VA. Like, okay, Josh, I see
When they
you.
first said the VA, I was like, Veterans Affairs.
Like,
what?
What is this?
What the fuck?
That's stolen valor, man. Now I'm going to have a conversation with them. There's already a VA, people. And they don't help. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to keep it pushing. It's because I had a comment, but I'm going to shut the fuck up and keep it pushing. I did like the conversation Jonna had with Nehemiah about what was going on. But you said something, and it's so fucking true.
So the whole time I'm watching, like, I watched the Nehemiah Jonna thing. And she's like, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, you know, she's upset.
I couldn't believe you nominated me.
Yeah. And he says to her, he's like, you know, it could be a good opportunity. It totally gave me Ayana vibes where she was like, it's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. Who was she talking to?
She was talking to Sophie or
oh, yeah. When she like sent her into Elimination.
It was All Stars 1.
Yeah, and
I might rewatch that.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
And that was like the total vibe I got from Nehemiah. Like, it's a gift. It's an opportunity. Like, you could win the daily and be in power, you know? But the thing that I found interesting was Jonna wasn't even looking at it like that. Like, the minute he put her as a target, she'd already in her head lost the daily and was in the elimination because she was like, yeah, if I win the elimination. And he was like, no, if you win the daily. Like she wasn't even imagining that. Yeah. That wasn't even a possibility in her head at that point. She was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like, I found that interesting when I was watching that.
I just feel like, and I said it last week, that Jonna is a fish out of water on the flagship. Mm-hmm. She's just not comfortable in her gameplay with these other people and these other relationships where it feels like when she's on All Stars and these people, some of them have established relationships, but most people didn't play certain seasons together. Mm-hmm. They were only on one season together. She's able to form a quick alliance.
Yeah.
But without that, I feel like it's not her thing. I don't know. It's tough to say because I really like Jonna.
Yeah,
I like
that's
her a
just
lot
how
too.
the feeling I get about it.
Well, and the thing is like not every challenger that plays, you know, is champion material. And I don't think that there's a problem with that. Like, I don't like this new age idea that everybody on the cast has to be super competitive, super athletic, has to be like champion ready. Like, I don't like that. I think that is part of what's changing the vibe of this show, to be honest.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about
I was just expanding on the idea that I was just expanding off
okay, because I was going to say that's not what I'm talking about. To me, it's the fact that Jonna is a good enough player that when she's in there and she's truly believing in herself, she's making it either to a final or later in the season. We've seen it. We saw it on the flagship when she was partnered with Derrick. And maybe that was the issue. She really wanted to be on Era 2 and she got pushed to Era 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. She's a good enough player that she should be in one of these finals.
Right. Exactly.
So that's just that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, Bananas.
Bananas is a jelly belly.
Yeah. All the couples coupling up. Little Love Island action.
I think it's hilarious, to be honest. Like, it's so funny because to me, this is like typical Bananas, and it's no hate on him. But if he's hooking up, then relationships in the house are fine. But if other people are hooking up, then it's the stupidest thing you could do. And, you know, it must just be simply for the game and like all this stuff. And it's like, just like, because you do that doesn't mean that everybody else does that. You know, and it's okay for other people to have a hookup when you're not. Like, it's okay. You just sit there and you just be old man Bananas and go to bed at 9 with Era 1 and it'll be all right. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest. It is kind of a dumb move socially. It sinks your game most times.
I'm not saying it's a smart move. I'm not saying it's a smart move at all, but I'm just saying that, like, it's just funny to me when Bananas criticizes stuff like this, when he's, you know, notorious for hooking up, especially in these later seasons. You know what I mean? Like, he's notorious for hooking up with girls on the show. Yeah. Especially if it advances, it helps his game in any type of way, in any type of voting situation. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's funny to me to see him criticize, Devin and Michele in this moment when it's like, bro, like you were literally hooking up on like the last season you were on. Like, what are you talking about? So I just found it funny.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about this daily?
I thought the title of it sounded like a level on Mario Brothers. Cloud Catcher. See?
Mm-hmm.
See? You see the connection?
Yes, I can. I can see the level, actually.
I know the level. I've played that level.
I've died there many times.
I beat it.
I thought it was cool in concept. It was just boring to watch.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it. I thought it was, like you said, it was an interesting idea. I found it, I don't know, because what the hell was Era 1 doing so wrong that, like, because there was like that one point where like Derrick I think he had already hurt his leg. And he had one and he like went to start going under the thing and he touched the side of it with his hand and it fucking popped.
Yeah.
But like then there's this other scene of like bananas and he's like pinching the thing, like holding it down and like stretching it out and stuff. And it's not, but I'm like, so what is going on with these fucking, and with these, they just look like, I don't even know, man. They look
like condoms.
They look like giant fucking condoms. Just.
Have you ever seen where they hold them out the window of the car? That's what it looked like.
That's exactly what it looked like. It was just odd.
I mean, and some of them like stayed smaller, some of them stretched out, and I'm just like, It
was interesting. It was really interesting.
And definitely speed was not a factor.
No, speed. So that was the other thing.
And I didn't like that.
Yeah, Rick and I got in a little bit, well, not even a debate. He said one thing, I said one thing, and then we moved on with our lives. But so TJ says the first to get the riddle with the most balloons or whatever wins.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, so speed literally didn't matter at all?
Nope.
It could because Era 4 was one of the because it was Era 3 and then 2 and then 4 and 1 that finished. So but Era 4 ended up winning because they had the most balloons.
Yep.
And they finished their riddle. So I don't know. Maybe I don't get it.
I mean, I get why they said the rule the way they did. It's to create less ambiguity. I can't talk right now. Anyways,
ambiguity.
Thank you. Anyways.
Words are hard.
They are right now. They did it because what happens if two teams finish with the same balloons? Then they have to go by who did it first, right? So I get that.
Okay. So that makes sense. So then it would go by who finished the riddle first if they have the same number.
And maybe outside of the edit, they explain that to the cast. But to us as the viewer, it sounded like time and balloons both played a factor.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it first announced, I was like, well, they're way fucking far behind. What's the ratio? Like, balloons count for how much extra time? You know what I mean? But that's not the way they had it set up, in my opinion.
No, you could have taken all day long. As long as you had the most balloons and got it right, you won.
Yeah, as soon as I saw someone pop 8 balloons in a row, Era 1, guess what, bitches? I'm walking the rest of the time. We're not getting out of here till 7 o'clock.
Well, and like Era 1, it was so funny when they did finish though, because like you saw them like looking around and like looking up, and I think even one of them said something about, I don't know how we did or whatever. I'm like, you have 5 balloons there. Like, what do you mean?
You did bad.
You did really bad. Okay, you did horrible. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't. At
least you finished it. At least you figured out it was fire. And you got to open it.
I felt like an idiot because when I read that thing, I was like, I have no fucking clue.
Dude, right? And then I was like, I didn't get it right off the bat either. And I was just like,
our kids were in the room, so I had to play it off like I got it. Corrina was like, oh, it's fire. I was like, oh, yeah, fire. No fucking clue. None.
So, anyway, so I'm actually, sorry, I'm going to jump back really quick.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the team speeches.
Oh, God. So cringe. Like, I'm sorry. I was surprised we didn't hear Darrell off screen when Laurel was giving that speech about being team players. Like, shut the fuck up, Laurel.
Yeah, shut up, Laurel.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nani just fucking comes in. You're corny, Laurel.
You're corny as fuck. Yeah, no.
Garbage.
I thought it was really interesting the way. So I don't know if Laurel was apologizing to the team in that moment, or she was saying she had already done it. Or
that's how I took it.
Is that she'd already done it,
yes.
right? But every single person standing there looked so uncomfortable with what she was saying. I was like, have you said any of this to them, or are you just saying this in front of the camera for the first time? Like, I don't.
Right. I like Cara's comeback though. That was hilarious.
Honestly, I'm glad she didn't. I know a lot of people are saying they wish Cara would have thrown the daily. I'm proud of her for not.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't like when people throw dailies on this show. Even if it's for, you know, a game move and stuff. Like, I'm not a big fan of it. So yeah. I'm glad Cara didn't throw it. But at the same time, it's also like it was an opportunity. And she could have easily done it, I think. And, you know, she could have made sure 2 was in the bottom, and then Laurel and Bananas would have been guaranteed to go in.
I'm a petty person, so she should have thrown it.
I know. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
I honestly wish she would have.
I wish she would have made it look like she wasn't throwing it and just threw it like every time she went through that little.
Accidentally popped the balloon every single time.
Yeah,
the
little can. Oh, fuck, I hit the spike.
Damn.
As soon as I got to get down a little bit lower on the ground, just fucking dig
hit a
my
rock.
nail.
The extra jab, though, was when she said, I just don't have it in me like she does.
Yeah.
She's got that dog in her, though.
Jeez. Anyway, so
can I just say something? Like, both of them were the cringiest fucking speeches I've ever fucking heard. I appreciate both of them, but cringe.
Yeah, they were both cringe. I just honestly, and I've talked about this a couple of times, like on Instagram, I'm over it. Like, a lot of these like storylines that we're getting, I'm over. I don't really care about Laurel and Cara fighting anymore.
Every season they're on, it's the same storyline.
It's the same shit. I don't care about it. You know what I mean? I don't care about, you know, Bananas, you know, being uncomfortable with Devin. I don't really care about that. Like, but what I don't understand is, why did we see somebody that we really fucking truly care about, Derrick, get hurt, and we don't see anything, any kind of resolution. We don't see any kind of progress. We don't see anything to do with this injury that literally had him hobbling on one foot through the fucking more than half of the daily. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, but we sure get stupid ass fucking scenes from, you know, Laurel and Cara, where Laurel's making dumbass weird jokes that don't even make no sense to me. I'm just like,
talking to Aviv about kids with red hair.
I'm so confused. What the fuck are we doing here, man?
Look, and that's my thing too, is like, it goes for the fans as well, because people were fucking tearing Tori up over the Jordan Tori shit. I'm so over this. It was like, it's been on for 10 episodes.
Literally.
Like, this has been going on since Rivals
for 10
fucking
years.
won. I'm done with it.
I'm
fucking over it.
There's got to be something else going on in that fucking house with all those different people. You're telling me this is the only thing going on, is this stupid shit? Like, I'm just over it.
Pair the 2 up already. Make them work together.
Something, man. Do
Put
something.
them in their get along t-shirt. I don't really mean that because it's wrong, but like, I'm just over the storyline. I'm so fucking over it.
Yeah. It's just, ugh.
I would rather watch fucking highlights of the Lavender Ladies.
Yeah. Something. Just anything. Literally anything.
Yeah.
God, like I said, there's got to be something else going on in the house.
Did you mention them just because they just recently got back together? And we're hanging out? Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, for Sylvia's wedding.
Yes.
Congratulations to Sylvia.
Yeah, welcome to the world of marriage. You'll love it.
Anyway,
Fresh start.
So after the daily, we get, and before nominations, there's only really one quick scene. And it's Josh and Jenny call a team meeting with Era 4, and they tell them that they would like the team's input on who they send into elimination against Brad and Rachel, because Era 1 lost at the daily. And of course, the whole team instantly is like, why is this a fucking question? Laurel and Bananas are literally available to be put in. Like, why are we even having this conversation? Duh, of course, you put in Laurel and Bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Josh and Jenny were instantly disappointed. Like, it almost felt like they were asking their team for permission to break the alliance that they've been working on with Era 3 the whole fucking season.
Yep.
I was shocked that this actually fucking happened. Like, I was actually watching it. I was like, this is like real. Like, what? Why would you do this?
It's Josh.
Like, if you're going to try to save Bananas and Laurel, like, you got both of them up. You're going to try to save them in a situation like this. You can't ask other people. You got to just make your move. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot, because in my opinion, he almost made the situation worse by asking his team their input and then ignoring it. If he would have just jumped off, and just did his own thing without even asking them, then at least, it's not like, I don't know. I just feel like it would have been a little bit different. They still would have been pissed, but
he made it seem like he wanted it to be a team decision. He didn't want it to just be their decision. And now it's just like, it's the same old Josh.
Exactly. Well, and it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I did not understand why they called this meeting because they both knew the whole time. They knew exactly what they wanted to do.
So I'm just gonna say this now. I'm not even gonna wait. Rule number 2: if you have the ability to throw in Johnny Bananas, CT, Jordan, Cara, Laurel, Emily, any of those people that are on the Mount Rushmore, Wes, Darrell, Derrick,
Rachel,
yeah, any of those people, you have the opportunity to send them in, send their fucking asses in. Johnny and Laurel have 9 final championships combined. Bananas alone has been to 10 finals and won 7 of them. That's a 70% win ratio for finals that he's appeared in. Where, on the other hand, he's been in 27 eliminations and he's only won 13 of them. He has a losing record in eliminations. You have a better chance of getting him out in the fucking elimination ring than you do beating him in a final. This man has beaten every single fucking challenger that's on your Mount Rushmore in a final or in a season. Get his ass out now. I love you, Josh, but you fucked up. You fucked up.
Plain and simple.
I wish I had the little clappy things, but I don't have a little clappy thing. But that was, it really is, and I think I said this to you earlier. I get, Josh's perspective of wanting to, make amends for what he did. I think that in this moment, when they go into nominations, I think that Bananas kind of, exploited Josh's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
guilt.
Not even just his guilt, but I think he exploited how good of a friend Josh is and how important friendship and loyalty and stuff like that is to Josh. And it was kind of like, if you want to make amends for us in our friendship, like he dropped the our friendship, make amends. Like he was dropping keywords that he knew were going to tug on Josh's heartstrings. And I think Bananas did that on purpose,
He did.
and it is what it is. He's playing a game, but
It reminds me of my friend Brett. His favorite tagline is proper words and phrases. And that just perfectly describes what Bananas did. He said everything that he needed to Josh to manipulate the situation of him making sure that he wasn't going to go in.
Yes, exactly. And I like I said, I can't really blame him. But, at the same time, it's just like, it's a very emotional and personal move for Josh to make. And like we said, you know, if you have the shot at Bananas, you have to take it. If you have a shot at CT, Jordan, any of those people, you have to take it. And Bananas is sitting here not just by himself, but tied to Laurel too. Like, it's just, what?
And they're not going against Avery and fucking Ryan.
No.
They're going against Rachel and Brad, arguably two of the best, respectively, that have ever done it.
Yeah.
Like, Brad is top 10.
And you get Rachel out
is
of
top 5.
You get Rachel out of Era 1, like, they're a fucking mess. Because then their only female left, their only woman left is Tina. And she's going to be a fucking mess without Rachel there.
Look,
you know, so it's like you take that shot because whether Laurel or Rachel goes home, it's a win. You know what I mean? Whether and honestly, after seeing the elimination, there was a chance Bananas could have lost this.
Okay. Yeah. I just had an epiphany, and I want you to tell me if I'm off on this. Think about Big Brother 19.
Okay.
Paul, right?
Okay.
Dominant player in the house.
Yes.
Takes Josh under his wing. Works with him in an alliance. Knows he takes Josh to the end, to the final 2. He'll beat him. He knows he's going to win. Big Brother does have a voting process based on house, and Josh manipulates the exit interviews to reflect better on himself. Wins.
Right.
Johnny Bananas, dominant player in the challenge. Top 2 or 3, depending on who you like. Sees Josh, newcomer. Makes sure to work with him. Tries to bring him along. Johnny's well known for wanting to bring people he knows he can beat in a final to finals.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like it's history repeating itself. And Johnny playing those cards of make amends, you know, earn back, karma, is because he knows what he's trying to do.
My whole thing we're talking about friendship and making amends to a friendship, all while hurting and ruining a friendship that you already have established in good faith with Cory.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it just, and I get where you're coming from, you know, and I know that was, you know, something that we had talked about earlier with, you know, Bananas, you know, the possibility that Bananas would take Josh to a final because he knows that he could beat Josh, right? And the temptation from Josh, because coming in second behind Bananas is better than going home right now, you know? And so I see that path. I see that road. I see that way of thinking for Josh, but I just think it's short-sighted because, like you said, yes, you're appeasing Bananas, but you're also pissing off somebody that you've been working with this entire time. So not only are you pissing off Cory, but you're going to piss off all of Era 3. And now you've talked to your team. They've told you what they prefer. They've told you they prefer to keep this alliance with Era 3 intact. And so now you're telling your team, fuck you as well. And, you know, it just... Well, there's so many mistakes in this that it's like you're being short-sighted thinking that nobody else is going to stop you from going to that final with Bananas besides Bananas. You know what I mean? He can't protect you all the way to the end. Yeah. And you're pissing off too many people trying to get there.
And it's almost like the flip of where I was on the Tony argument and where you were, where I could see the perspective of it. But just like you can see the perspective of it doesn't mean it's the right move.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
you
absolutely.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like going back to it, 9 combined final wins on one side. How many does Jonna and fucking Cory have? 2.
In All Stars.
That answer speaks for itself. You get rid of your competition.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Anyways. Nominations. I did like the fact that Era 1 kept a tradition of saying we're not going to say who we want to go against. Now, I think you told me, or I saw it somewhere, that there was rumor that Rachel was floating it in the house that she wanted to go against Jonna. She did not want to go against Laurel.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that's true, but it could be.
It doesn't seem...
I'd go against Jonna over Laurel.
I don't know if Rachel just doesn't strike me as that woman, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even if somebody asked her, like, you know what I mean? Who would you rather go? Of course. Who's going to say, oh, I'd rather go against? Nobody's going to say that. So, you know, I don't think she, like, I don't know. I don't take that as like Rachel walking around campaigning to try to get Jonna in over Laurel. I don't see that situation. So it could be, I don't know.
Questions abound.
Yeah, it's hard to speak on stuff that, you know, they didn't even show us.
Can I just say, though, that Cory, his speeches are just, they're getting, they're getting there. Like, he's picked it up. And
if Josh and Jenny didn't already have their minds made up, Cory might have sealed the deal here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, anybody else, this should have sealed the deal. Just pointing out that, you know, Era 1 and Era 2 have been working together. Era 3, Era 4 have been working together. And no matter how much Bananas wants to try to deny it, it's clear as fucking day. So whatever about that. But
that's news to me.
Yeah. But I'm not going to confirm or deny that. But that's news to me. Well, that's denying it, Bananas. First of all, like, you just deny. You know what? But then Cory brings up, he's like, look, they're both on Mount Rushmore. Like, you're missing an opportunity to send in 2 Mount Rushmore players against, and there's another one already down there with Rachel. Like, she's often put on it. And when we split our what do they call our Mount Rushmores, and we did like the, you know, the pillars and all the different ones, Rachel was on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you have this opportunity. And I feel like the only reason that this speech from Cory didn't work is because Josh and Jenny already had their minds made up before they even stepped into the Game of Thrones chamber.
It was a poor decision. And we see it when they go back and explain it to their teammates in Era 4. And Michelle's like, what the fuck? And I like how Josh was accountable. He's like, if you were in there with me, it'd be completely different.
Yeah.
But Josh.
But would it though? Because
I feel like Josh
Michelle's
needs
friends
a push.
with Bananas.
Yeah.
Bananas would have. Michele knows better. Michele.
Josh
I will give
push.
her. Josh needs a push,
right.
And Michele knows better than taking a 7-time champ further into the game.
Yeah.
That is a survivor tactic. Oh, you've won? Bye.
I do like what Cory says, though. He's like, Josh, I'm going to consider that a shot.
Yeah.
100%, because it is.
It is, you know? Yeah. And I don't know how Josh would expect anything other than that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Excuse me for 1 second. I have to turn on the AC.
Okay. Josh and Jenny, they tell their team. They tell Cory and, Jonna. And Cory tells them in this moment, he's like, you know, okay, well, at least now I know who to put the target right back on. And I found this interesting because I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to do that. And so obviously, you know, we find out at the end of the episode that you can't do that. You can't just target people who were just that are already were the targets just now. You have to choose new people. But I found that pretty interesting. And I think that this should have been, I don't know, there was, in my opinion, there were so many moments for Josh and Jenny to change their mind. And it just doesn't make sense to me why it was worth, you know, keeping Bananas and Laurel happy to piss off these whole 2 other eras versus just pissing off Bananas and Laurel and keeping your era and Era 3 happy. Like, it's so short-sighted. I can't get over it.
It made 0 sense.
Yeah. So anyway, we end up going to the club. The club scenes, in my opinion, were actually kind of boring. All the conversations that they had in the club were the same conversations that they had like out of the club or that they had in the nomination ceremony or like whatever. But what I did find very interesting is there's that scene where Derrick Kosinski, Derrick K, and Brad are standing outside and Derrick's like, hey, you know, that's the tallest building in Vietnam. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, how the fuck does Derrick of all people know this? Like, I totally think production was like, hey, do you guys know what that building is right there?
Because
that's the tallest building in Vietnam. you guys should go over there and talk about it so we can get it on film, because
conveniently next week
they're jumping off the tallest fucking building in Vietnam, which so I'm like, is that the same building they were looking at and they were like setting them up to be looking at what they'll be jumping off next week? Like, the fuck? Like,
cold as ice.
I know. Damn. Dude. Production is cold as ice, man.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. I was like, wait a second. When I saw the next time on, I was like, hold the phone. What just happened? But yeah, I was like, I don't know. Maybe Derrick just knows a lot about buildings and stuff. I don't know. But it just didn't seem like something that like DK just knows. You know what I mean?
That seems like something you would like Google, like once you know the city you're being filmed in and what the bar you're going to, like, oh, what's the name of the city? Oh, that's the tallest building here. And maybe it's no, because he said the tallest building in Vietnam, speaking of the whole country. Like, if he was like, that's the tallest building of all of Saigon, it would have been like, well, no shit, dude. It's the tallest building in the city. But yeah, you can see it. But he said the whole country, so never mind. I'll let that one slide.
Right. That's, yeah.
How do you guys feel about Bananas trying to break up the Devin and Michele situation?
Foul, because then he got caught and lied about it.
Thank you. Okay, look, here's my thing. And we're watching it, right? And Rick's like, oh, yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. But we always say on the show, you know, if you're in a bad situation, lie. Like, we always say lie.
Right,
like, don't be afraid to lie.
I get it.
Which, great. I get that. What pissed me off was Bananas coming on the confessional and lying to the viewers. Like, we didn't just fucking hear what you said. Okay? Like, just come on and be... And he could have set this up perfect. Look, because he comes on his confessional and he's like, and he's like, damn, I got busted. All right, now watch the master at work. And then it flips back to him lying to Devin and trying to get out of the shit. You know what I mean? Like, he could have set this up and like, but he comes on to his confessional like, I never said that. I'm like, Bananas, please. Like,
dude, all the time that you're making your friend, the one that you're trying to protect, look like a liar and look really bad, saying, that's not what I said. I don't know how she took it that way. And then you have Olivia's confessional like, what the fuck? I heard you.
Yeah. Like, well, and that was my thing too, is I was sitting there and I was like, well, why, when him and Devin are like talking downstairs or whatever, like if I was Devin, I'd have been like, great, then let's get Michele in here so you can tell her that she's stupid and she misunderstood you, or that she's lying to me about what you said. Let's just get her and you know what I mean?
No matter what they did in that situation, rule number 722, lie.
Oh my God.
Fucking lie.
Wasn't me. You got the shaggy excuse. It wasn't me.
It works though. It fucking works. And then if they really get on you, be like, that was my other personality, Patricia.
Oh my gosh. So
we did get some IG submissions about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So shout out to Bloody Money 47, big supporter of the page, of the podcast, all that. Thank you so much. They submitted in and said, I think Bananas is scared of Devin because he knows that Devin is able to control the house. And I thought this was very interesting, and I actually wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that.
I agree. I think Bananas has a good read on the game. He knows that Devin has a lot of fucking connections throughout this house, and the connections he has will ride for Devin pretty hard. And when it especially comes to the vacation lines, Bananas is towards the bottom of that totem pole. We've seen it with Cory and Josh on USA too. So I think it's an accurate description, and shout out to Bloody Money 47 for putting that out there.
I mean, when you sit here and we've talked to people and they've said many times, as soon as TJ says, all right, here's the daily, and then they run to Devin and get a better explanation on how to do it, you got to fear the guy because he's intelligent. Right. He's smart. He can figure shit out. If it's too strong for him, he'll figure out how to win in a physical competition. He's beaten and sent Bananas home. So yes, he's going to be feared of Devin. He's going to try and get in his head, but Devin's too smart for it.
Even drunk, Devin was like, wouldn't it be a bigger deal if I didn't have this reaction? I was like, that's fucking right, Devin. You tell her.
Right.
Fucking first round draft pick, motherfuckers.
Literally, yeah. It's like, wouldn't it be bad if I didn't care? No,
Devin was our number one for a reason, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I think there's a fair point here, to be honest. And I think, honestly, I think it a little bit has to do with the fact that it's Michele too. If you look at Banana's little spider webs that he's got weaved throughout the house, he's got a couple of girls and a couple of dudes on each era. And Michele is one of his connections on era 4. So if she's then tied to Devin, who's on era 3, and you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, and then Devin's also tied to Tori, which is one of his era 3 connections. And, it's just, I think that he sees Devin's potential socially in the house. I think he sees, how much, I know that there are some people, obviously, that don't like the way that Devin plays, like Rachel. She made that very clear. But I think that Bananas sees a lot of, I don't want to say sees a lot of himself, but his style of gameplay just almost kind of done better as far as like the deals and stuff, because there were a lot of times where, Bananas made really bad deals because he made long-term deals, and this was one of the things we heard Devin talk about. I think it was last episode or the one before maybe, where that's one of his biggest rules is he only does short-term deals because he doesn't want to get stuck in a position where something better may come up and he's locked into something else. And so I think Bananas sees those little things, and then he sees Devin connecting with Michele and Tori, and he's, got these ins with Casey and, all this stuff. And I think he finds him a little bit intimidating, maybe not like competitively, but socially in the house for sure.
I think it's also the fact that Devin can't be pinned down because of these short-term deals.
Right.
Like the only way you can really pin Devin down is to someone that's really close, aka Tori, or in this season, Michele.
Right.
And this was his card he pulled. I think he would have been better pulling this card on Nia and Kyland to get Kyland out of the game than trying to push Devin out right now.
That's fair.
Because Devin is way too insulated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my opinion on that. I did like that, Era 4 did have the conversation and Michele said she was going to self-nominate as long as she liked the lineup.
If the lineup suited her.
Yeah.
Look, I actually got some messages about this on Instagram, and there are some people who don't like this.
I thought it was smart.
And I get it, but it is smart gameplay. If you're playing against Michele, nah, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, bitch, no, it's fucking time for you to go in. But at the same time, like just watching it from like an objective point of view as a watcher that doesn't really, feel one specific way about Michele or the other, I thought... it doesn't bother me. I thought it was funny, if you don't feel like you can beat the people that you're going to potentially have to go up against, then absolutely don't self-nominate. You still might get picked, but I mean, like we said, one of the biggest rules in the challenge is don't nominate yourself. And if you're going to nominate yourself or you have to nominate yourself, do it against people that you know you can beat or you're very confident against, So like, I don't get it. I don't get when people get upset about this. It's like the same thing going back to I think it was either like Double Agents or Spies Lies or something where everybody got upset at Tori because she was like, oh, I want to go against like someone that I can beat, someone who's like weaker than me or whatever.
Double Agents.
And everybody fucking flipped on her. And I'm like, what are you like maybe she worded it badly. But at the same time, it's like everybody does that. If you don't want to go against somebody you can beat, you're what?
It's because she said she wanted to go against one of the Ambers.
Yeah, the Amber A or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amber M.
M. Oh, yeah, Mamber. Yeah. That's what we called her. Bamber and Mamber.
Mamber.
Manber. Never mind. Anyway. But yeah, so, I don't know. It doesn't bother me when people want I don't know. To me, that's how you play the game. You got to get to the end. The name of the game is getting to the end, to the final.
Look, rule number 1, don't nominate yourself. Rule number 2, lie. Rule 721,
lie some more.
Let's get to the point. You see what I did there? Because the name of the elimination is to the point.
So funny
tonight, man.
I honestly, look, Loki, I kind of like this elimination. I thought it was cool. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
It wasn't bad. It was weird, but it wasn't bad.
I would have liked it if they weren't paper mache balls, but...
Okay, they were, right? Because there was like pieces flying off of Brad's.
Styrofoam doesn't fly like that, bro. Those Brad's were getting rocketed in there. He looked like Randy Johnson trying to hit a pigeon. Like those fuckers were knocking that cage back. Like people were surprised. It didn't even hit the spike and the thing still broke into pieces.
I was like, what is happening to the ball? I thought they were just like regular. No, okay.
Right. No, they were all different sizes, and
I knew they were different sizes, and I know Brad said like it wasn't like a balanced weight, so they were like kind of weird and awkward, which makes the game interesting. I think I didn't fully understand the game though, because I thought that TJ had said that once the ball, like if it lands where the area was roped off again, and then that space between the wall and where the roped area was. That if it lands there, then the ball's out. But like there were a bunch of I don't know.
No, that's what it was. And they.
So what about all the balls that were still out? They'd been thrown, but they weren't in that area. They were out. So why couldn't they still be thrown more?
They did until the very last part of Cory and Brad's elimination is Cory literally picking up the last ball in that little zone and doing a fadeaway shot, making sure it lands out. So that
Maybe
was
I just
it.
Missed that, but
I like this elimination because of you can play offense or you can play defense.
What would you have done?
I would have rocketed through at least half of those balls before I even thought about playing defense.
Yeah, I think
because you score 0 points on defense.
Yeah,
but neither do they.
I think that Cory and Rachel had really good, and obviously they both won. So obviously it was, it worked. But I think they both had, a good strategy. Like they both got like 4 or 5 balls, secured on the thing and then made sure that they kept their opponent from scoring any more than whatever they had at that point, making sure they stayed ahead. So, it was a good strategy. But I don't know. It also wasn't like super exciting to watch. So...
Well, first, I think Cory had the right strategy, and he said it in, I think, one of his confessionals, which was, this isn't an over-the-head hard pass. Mm-mm. This is a chest pass that you make in basketball because you need to control it and know where it's going. And that's the most accurate way to throw a perfectly round ball, like a basketball.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think Cory had the right strategy. Like, this is one of those times where I look at an elimination and I really don't see anything Cory did bad. He did everything right in this elimination the way it was supposed to be done, in my opinion. And same with Rachel. She did everything right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and it was really smart not to waste like a bunch of time and energy trying to shoot the balls. Once Cory had gone up 1 or 2 on Brad, and obviously Rachel did the same approach against Jonna, but instead of like wasting time and energy, like trying to shoot their own balls, just kind of throwing them into that out zone, to make sure that those balls weren't going to be there for, Brad or Jonna to try to score. So, I thought it was really well done. Like I said, it wasn't very exciting to watch. Clearly I didn't pay that close of attention. So.
I mean, you can only watch a paper mache ball hit a spike so many times.
Yeah. But
first of all, I want to just say I'm really proud of myself because we said balls a lot and I was
waiting
once.
I was waiting for a ball joke.
None.
Neither one of us.
Wow.
None. Adults.
You've grown.
I think really
Detroit changed you.
I think Katie's the bad influence.
Oh, it's Katie's fault?
Yeah, she's the immature one in the group.
She's the bad blood in the group.
Yeah, there we go. Her and Tony, they fucking corrupt us. We did get an IG submission about this from Brittany the Red too.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Brittany, shout out to Brittany. We love you. Thank you so much for all the support. But she says that for the overall thoughts of the game or of the episode, she says that the gameplay was boring. And she says, I'm not sure Bananas is looking out for Josh and Jenny the same way, meaning the same way they are. What do you guys think is going to happen now that Josh and Jenny protected Bananas? Do you think he is going to show that same? Because here's my thing. Like I said before, is I could see the potential of Bananas trying to take someone like Josh to a final because he knows he could beat Josh. And he knows Josh is loyal. So Josh is going to and he can pull he can tug on those heartstrings again, right? So, right. And he knows it works now. Jenny is a great woman to take to the final and take through the game, especially if it's like a partner situation, because then you have a strong girl in the final with you, as long as she stops smoking on those vapes and can fucking get her endurance up.
But he also has to look at it like this. Is he going to bring along somebody who's beaten him in the final in the past?
And that's a good point. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, I think Johnny will do whatever is best for him in the game. And it doesn't matter who he's aligned with. At the end of the day, he is looking at the sunset of his career and not the prime or the beginning. He's trying to make the most out of what he's got left.
He's trying to win that one last one.
He wants to get that number 8 because and I think a lot of fans as well, feel like if he hits 8, even if in the future CT wins another one and Jordan wins another one, he's still up by 2 on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's my thing. But if it benefits his game, yes. If not, no. Short answer.
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
I think he'll look and see what's in front of him and he'll go with the best plan at that time.
Yeah.
Like he always does.
It's going to be real interesting if there's a situation where he's in power and he could save them and he doesn't. And,
Oh, I bet Josh is going to get payback. Look, he doesn't forget. We saw that with Sarah Rice. He does not forget.
People don't forget.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was like 7 years ago.
Right. So anyway, we actually had one last question that before we get into the targets, that was sent into our Instagram via DM, and I had a little bit of a back and forth. And so I'm curious to what you guys think. Do you think that the order in which the targets are chosen, in the order of the eras, makes a difference, or is like any type of an advantage, like the fact that era 4 is always last?
No, I don't think it matters. I really don't, because it's such an objective decision by the person, or I'm sorry, subjective decision by the person. It's because, look, if you get Bananas on there, you're telling me that he's going to pick Jenny to be a target over someone else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's not going to do that. He's going to pick Michele, Olivia. He's going to pick one of them first. He's going to put them in jeopardy before he puts someone else. So no, I don't think it really matters. I think it really more matters on your connections outside of your own era.
Mm-hmm.
Era.
Yeah, I think it's going to go, no matter how you pick it or what order it goes in, it's going to go by your ally choice or who you're working with in the long run. But on the flip side, I would like to see him change it up every once in a while. I'll be like, all right, well, you guys are going to have to pick era 4 first this time, or the target for the targets. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and I definitely see that. I mean, I saw this person's point of view as well, as far as like the self-nominating, right? Especially like you kind of see it with this situation where Michelle's like, depending on the lineup. And if Era 4 went first, she wouldn't know what the lineup is in order to know if she wants to back out of her self-nomination thing or not. So, I mean, I see that point where it could be like a little bit of an advantage when it comes to self-nominating or volunteering or whatever. But at the same time, I just don't see it as being like such a huge advantage that it's like making a difference in the game.
Do you think production really thought people were going to self-nominate every week?
No, I don't.
So I think that's where this game is getting fucked up, because it was strictly going to be the decision. So it didn't matter the order.
Right.
But now that people are self-nominating, it does matter.
Yeah.
And going back to the whole Josh and Bananas scene, I really do think Bananas will get his.
Beneganzi! Beneganzi! That's how you say vengeance in Italian. Beneganzi! Beneganzi! Hey, I'm gonna get my Beneganzi on you.
I'm gonna get my Beneganzi on you.
It was too good of an opportunity. I was just stoned and delayed. All right, so breaking down the new targets from each era. We've got Era 1, Tina, and Darrell. And I like how Darrell's like, my team, I'll do anything for my team. I'll jump out of a plane. I mean, I won't, but fuck it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
And then the next daily is heights that you have to jump
Just
out,
so
apparently,
happened.
and grab something. And Darrell's like, it like shows the little clip of Darrell where he's like, y'all know my biggest fear is heights. I'm like, oh, he ain't gonna do it. Like, he's not gonna do it.
Are we taking bets on whether Darrell's already in the elimination or not?
He's out. Era 1 lost. Darrell's in the elimination next week.
They're not getting a week off next week either.
All of us were up in there in the beginning of the season like, man, Era 1's strong. They might win a lot of dailies.
Oh, God.
Era 1 is wrong.
Poor Era 1.
Oh, fuck. Era 2, Nehemiah and Aviv are selected as targets. Era 3, Jordan and Naya both volunteered. Big ups to them because they didn't have to do that shit. They've already been in there.
Yeah.
They could have made someone make a bad decision, but whatever. And then finally, Kylan and Michele both self-nominate. And, you know, props to Michele. Week late, but you still did it. So props to you.
She says, it's my time. I'm like, girl, it was your time a couple weeks ago. But you know what? It's okay.
It's whatever. Better late than never.
Yeah, I love it.
So, guys, what would you give this episode, like, rating-wise? For me, decent episode. Nothing really
you were
great.
going to say a D. I was like, damn.
No, I'm going to, honestly, it's a B for me.
Yeah, I agree with that about a B. It was a good episode, but it wasn't like anything like wow about it.
Yeah, it wasn't like they were shirt cocking it.
I don't think that's legal.
Like, because that makes you go, wow.
That would
Makes
make
you go
me
something.
wow.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, what grade are you giving it?
I'm going to a B. Right across the board. I'll be right along with you guys. Neither great or it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, it was all right. Okay, so I asked this in the group, and I want to ask you guys this. I want your opinion.
Oh, no.
We've all said that this season has arguably the most stacked cast we've ever seen. Some of the greatest. Now, there are some people missing, which we've all admitted to, but still nonetheless, one of the greatest casts ever compiled for a challenge.
Agreed.
Do you think production is ruining this season for what it could be?
Yes. Always.
I'm like, is that really your question? I mean, we talk about production every episode. It's missing. It really is. I mean, it's not missing the people. I mean, because we've had this discussion. Yeah, somebody else should be there, but who are you going to take off?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
right.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I lost my thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think there's little things that, you know, I think it's like the little things add up, right? The cast is great. I love that they did a new location, so we don't have the same fucking house and location that we've had for the last 3 seasons. You know, so I love all that stuff. And I honestly, like, I've never been one where I'm like, repeat the dailies all the time. But I think it's a really big missed opportunity to be very nostalgic with the eliminations.
Yeah.
And starting the season off the way that they did with the, you know, Era 1 elimination was, you know, balls in. And then Era 2 was, you know, pole wrestle. And Era 3 was hall brawl. And Era 4 was take shelter. You know, the fact that they had these like quote unquote iconic eliminations minus take shelter. It really like added to that feel of like the nostalgic feel of the show in the beginning. And I feel like all of that has kind of died out and it's just kind of the same like bullshit that we've seen the last few seasons. And I'm like, I want that nostalgia back. I want to see those old eliminations replayed. You know, and I just, you know, I want to see more of like the fun stuff that they do around the house. I know that like that one little house party wasn't like the only thing that they did, you know, that little toga one. Like there's just, I don't believe that. And so it just, I don't know. I think that there's just little things that are missing from it, you know, and then the issues that we've had with the eliminations that they did do. It's just kind of like it just, it's missing.
To me, it's the poor edits, the lack of complete storytelling,
The storytelling too, yeah.
That's what's killing me. Like, you are showing a major player get injured and then you don't address it the rest of the episode.
Yeah, you're going to make us wait till next week. And I get it. It's like a cliffhanger thing. Oh, I got to watch next week to see how Derrick's doing. But it just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. But it's still, in my opinion, it's still, in my opinion, a good season. You know, we took a poll on Instagram earlier where it was like, you know, how blah, blah, blah. Oh, how do you feel about the season so far? A lot of people are saying that, like, it's okay, but like, I need more time. Like, I need more time to figure out where to place it. And then the next highest answer is that, you know, this season will end up falling somewhere in the top 10 to 15 seasons of all time.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's like 11.
But my thing is, it should have been easily a top 10, possibly a top 5. That was the potential that this season, this cast, this format had. And it's just, it's falling short. That's what it feels like. Is it's just like, it's almost there, but you're just fucking falling short with like these little things that really add up to the fans.
And we might still get there. We're not even halfway through the season yet. I mean, if
previous Alex was on tonight,
we need a shakeup. You know what I mean? We need a shakeup. I have a feeling the format's going to change soon. I mean, we know it will change eventually because this show cannot go through a season without changing its damn format. So it's coming, but I have a feeling that there's one coming soon. And by soon, I mean within the next few weeks, which will put us about midway. And, you know, and I feel like we need it because it's starting to feel a little bit stale to me. And maybe it's just this episode. Maybe just this episode was a little bit stale. And then with like the carry on from the Laurel Cara thing, it's just like, we need something shaken up in here.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
So,
do you guys have MVPs or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give my MVP for males. I'm going to give it to Cory because he did really well. I loved his strategy in there. For the women, I mean, I guess I'll just give it to Rachel. I don't, you know, I mean, she did very well in the elimination. I'm not taking that away at all. I don't know if the strategy was hers or she just saw that it worked for Cory and just copied that, which is also smart because it shows she was paying attention. So, you know, but I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I'm just going to keep kind of like, well, I'm going to keep mine short and sweet because it's the same Cory, Rachel.
Yeah.
Derrick K, Rachel.
Oh,
Derrick getting hurt and still going and completing the daily. I had to give it to him.
You know,
honorable mention.
Yeah, I will back that up.
I'll give an honorable mention to Cory because he killed it.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually switch my MVP to Derrick, and I'm going to give my honorable mention to Cory. So that was very impressive. Fakes. That was very impressive of Derrick.
Yes, it was. Line of the night. Did you guys have a line of the night? Hey, Nehemiah, looks like we nailed each other.
I think the only one that really sticks out to me is... And I can't even remember exactly what he said, but when Cory was talking about newborn babies, and he's like, you got to be careful like a newborn baby. And if anyone knows anything about newborn babies, it's your boy. I was like, oh my God, Cory. I like how he makes the kid jokes now, you know?
Yeah. To me, it's what he said in Deliberations, where he's like, they're on the Mount Rushmore. Like, you don't need another argument after that.
Yeah.
Josh didn't listen. Anyways, there we are.
Here we are.
So guess what, guys? That wraps it up for episode 6.
I think so.
Yeah, our recap of it.
Yeah.
So there you go. I don't really have much else to say other than if you enjoyed this episode, leave us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends that like the challenge. Maybe they will like us too. Who knows? I hope they do. I need their approval.
Please like me.
If they don't like us, have them leave us a review on Yelp or at Biodomer on Instagram. But for myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Corrina Hayes, and of course, Josh, Sir Motherfucking Chambers. We want to thank you guys. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we enjoy doing it. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.